Hello, and welcome to the Halloween edition of Blue Stained Glass Poetry. I'm your host, Mary Anne Abdo. Halloween is certainly in the skies this weekend with the appearance of the hunter's moon. Great tales of poetry are invented on these eerie nights. I did a lot of photography. I posted a lot of videos on my Facebook and Instagram page. And oh yes, don't forget, I'm new to TikTok. Trying different genres to see how it works out for me, and I'm enjoying it a lot along the way. So I hope you enjoy these videos. It's a great labor of love to make these and to read some great poetry. So speaking of poetry, the first poem I wrote was for last year's Rattlecast Halloween program. It's titled Not That Way. I have a new poem for tomorrow night's Rattlecast that will be broadcast at 8 o'clock tomorrow. And it's called A Howin's Hunter's Moon. So let's start with Not That Way. One side of the hospital is new. The other side hardly inhabited. Built in 1919, that wretched year the Habsburg Empire collapsed. Walking through patients' floors that are modern, strolling past corridors that smell like musty old rooms, with bleach permeating that somehow intertwine. It is a cold and rainy day, forgetting my umbrella and hearing of a shortcut to the parking lot. A coworker gave me directions to a concrete shelter, following her step-by-step command, making such haste to leave that day. So on to the Otis elevator, I hesitantly entered. I followed my coworker's verbal script and possibly on to my own death. For the mode of transportation squeaked and groaned, opening onto the floor with empty office spaces, strewn with litter on that marble floor path. Reaching those long corridors, it reminded me of many horror movie scenes. The path provided me with smells and sights of decomposing furniture. The only sound I could hear were that of my heart pounding out of my chest. The last exit was finally in sight, a perfect escape in hopes of reaching my car. Opening yet another airtight, scratched gray door, taking one exit stair and then another, all spiraling downward to nowhere. My heart was racing ever so quickly, passing by more half-empty office spaces. Now with cell phone in hand, it served as a clutched security blanket, reopening that long hallway door into the abyss. Feelings bubbling up as if I were being watched. Finally, escaping to the door to which I started. Never, ever will I return. A thought just struck me. How many trapped souls surrounded me on this creepy walk? And that poem was from last year's Rattlecast, Not That Way. The next one is a Samhain's Hunter's Moon. Father Earth and Taurus the Bull are celebrating the dance of nocturnal and solar animals, watching and waiting for Samhain's bonfires to ignite. The gnarled roots of Adler, oak, and Celtic trees of life come together as the spirits of our ancestors, appearing as the banshees' wailing cries were calling her dead to join the living, passing through misty, broken, veiled shadows of the murky green loch, wolves high atop the rocky ridge, and howling at the orange hunter's moon, eyeing Morgan, their phantom queen, as she morphed into three raven screeching sisters, summoning the magic people to do their bidding, known as Serdar Deardan, obeying Morgan's commands, gathering dead pine trees to create a red roaring fire, beating the skins from their raucous boudrons, making haste for one another and all to commence. Hearing the Raven sisters' detached screams echoing through the midnight timber grove, waking up Allan, the fire breather, from his 364th day of slumber. And with an instant of his first breath, Samhain's fires were stoked, reaching past the kingdom of the clouds, casting an eerie red-orange glow over Ire until dawn's last sight. And that is a Samhain's Hunter Moon, which I'll read tomorrow on Rattlecast. No Halloween reading would be complete without a few Edgar Allan Poe tales. I'll be reading from the book titled Edgar Allan Poe, Completed Tales by Castle Books. I know it's backwards. The first poem is titled The Haunted Palace. The second poem is titled Spirits of the Dead. If you are ever in the Philadelphia area, stop by the Edgar Allan Poe house. It is a great tour sponsored by the National Park Service. All the information with the poems I will have from selected readings today. I'll put them in the description box. Sanal the Ghoul needs her reading glasses. The Haunted Palace. In the greenest of valleys, by good angels tenanted, once a fair and stately palace, radiant palace, reared its head. In the monarch thought's dominion, it stood there. Never seraphim spread opinion over fabric half so fair. Banners yellow, glorious gold, on its roof did float and flow. All this, was in the olden times long ago, and every gentle air that dallied in that sweet day above ramparts plumbed and pallid, a winged odor went away. Wanderers in that happy valley through two luminous windows saw spirits moving musically to a lute's well-tuned law. Around about a throne were sitting Porpangee, in the state his glory well befitting. The ruler of the realm was seen, and all with pearl and ruby glowing was the fair palace door, through which came flowing, and sparkling evermore, a troop of echoes whose sweet duty was to sing in voices of surpassing beauty, the wit and the wisdom of their king. But evil things in robes of sorrow assailed the monarch's high estate. Ah, let us mourn, for never morrow shall dawn upon him desolate. And round about his home the glory that blushed and bloomed is but a dim remembered story of the old time entombed. And travelers now within that valley through the red litten window see vast forms that move fantastically to a discordant melody, while like a ghastly rapid river through the pale door a hideous throng rush out forever and laugh but smile no more. And this is Edgar Allan Poe's Haunted Palace. The second one, Spirits of the Dead. Thy soul shall find itself alone mid dark thoughts of the gray tombstone. Not one of all the crowd to pry into thine hour of secrecy, but silent in that solitude, which is not loneliness, for then the spirits of the dead who stood in life before thee are again. In death around thee, and their will shall overshadow thee, be still. The night though clear shall frown, and the stars shall not look down from their high thrones in the heaven, with light like hope to mortals given. But their red orbs without beam to thy weariness shall seem as the burning and a fever which wound cling to thee forever. Now are thoughts thou shalt not banish, now are visitors never to vanish. From thy spirit shall they pass, no more like dewdrops from the grass. The breeze, the breath of God is still, and the mist upon the hill, shadowy, shadowy, not unbroken, is a symbol and a token, and it hangs upon the trees, a mystery of mysteries. That is Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Love Poe's writing. I had the opportunity when I was in Baltimore to see his house. It was pretty interesting, along with the one in Philadelphia too. So stop by there to see one of our classic favorite, like Annabelle Lee. So I have next Saturday, November 4th, from 1 to 3 o'clock will be my first book signing. It is sponsored by the Library Express Bookstore, and that is at the Steamtown Mall on Lackawanna Avenue in Scranton. Fractured Lollipops, Poems of Brokenness, Healing, and Hope will be available for purchase. I'll be more than happy to sign your copy of the book. About 2:15, we're going to have a couple of the poems read. And there's refreshments, there's cupcakes. Thank you so much for the Lackawanna College Culinary Mets Department for offering to bake the cupcakes for me, and it'll be a nice spread for everybody. So next weekend there'll be a various selection of poems. I'll have an update on I will have an update as far as how the book sale went, or the book signing went. If anyone has a poem and you would like me to read it, drop a comment or email me at Mary Anne Abdo, MaryAnneAbdo, at blue-stain, at blue-stain, talkmuchglass.com. I will be happy to read your poem and give you a heralding high five. So tune in next weekend for more poetry. Thank you for stopping by Blue Stained Glass Poetry. Poetry is a creative response to the world around us. Happy Halloween and have a great week. Take care, everybody.